sting and the fun. Deep State's Grid Monster on the run.
Good morning. Welcome. So before we started, I'm over here talking about I'm so excited about my website I'm working on. I'm working on a website. It's for comic books, and I'm so excited about it. And then I want to talk about this one little nuanced thing about this.
Good morning, everyone.
I think it's good morning, everybody. Yeah. I want to talk about this one thing. So I have it in my mind what I'm making, and I'm working on a little bit at a time. And the only way that I know how to do things is a little bit at a time and iterate, and a little bit at a time and iterate, and a little bit at a time and iterate. And I'm happy to just one fix. I'm getting closer and closer and closer.
Do you not look ahead?
Well, I mean, I am looking ahead, but
a little bit.
Oh yeah, I try to keep the big picture in mind, and because that's how you know your goals you're working towards.
Right, but do you keep a couple of steps ahead of what you currently are doing? This is my next.
If I'm honest, I'm probably working on 3 things at the same time and screwing up 2 of them. So, but in some ways, with this particular project, I got to get I have 7 parts. I got to get parts 1, 3, 5, and 6 to be in sync. So if I fix this, I've got to fix this over here too. So it's not like I can just work on one thing. I've got to kind of toggle back and forth to make sure they're all advancing. But I'm approaching my point and the thing I want to ask you about. So I have something right now that I can run on my computer, and I'm like, that's cool. That's fine. And I even have a page that's almost empty, but I could show people and be like, here, go here. And you can just, here's the waiting page. But I get so focused on just working on technicals that I don't do any and I know I won't do any marketing. I won't do any social videos. I won't do any promotion of anything like that. I'll do it once. But the people that are successful out there with their projects and their ventures and their whatever, they take their time to do their creative. And then they block out a bunch of time to promote their stuff so that it percolates through the community consciousness so at least people know that something's out there for them to go look at. So I guess what I'm saying is I need to think about eventually having our pharmaceutical ad for my webpage. Do you know what I mean?
Look.
And let me hold. Hey, what's up? Let me hold a mirror up. Hey, Jowie, what's happening? Welcome to the show. Give him a microphone. Let me hold a mirror up to the show, Deke, and say, you also are going to have to relentlessly promote your project.
I've started to try a little bit.
There's a link in the description below. It's a Bitly link, so nobody's going to type it. It doesn't matter if I say it or not. That's not what I meant, Deacon.
What did you mean?
I mean, buyandysbooks.com or .co or .in or whatever, something that some people can talk and say.
People can wait. People can wait. I don't have another set of headphones that he will be able to. No.
You have a radio station with one set of headphones. That's amazing.
Well, there's one person that works here, and I used to keep these headphones to myself, and when I got off the air, I would unplug them and take them with me, because when you let other people use property station, oh my God. No. This microphone, we had a damn fuss over this microphone, me and the other DJ, because if you'll see here on the back, you see this plate.
Yeah.
Well, there's in the middle right here where it says Shure, there's a switch that will turn up the treble or turn up the bass. And there is another plate that goes on this that has that opening so you can turn it up and down. Well, every day when I would come in, the guy that worked after me had switched this and switched it to more treble or whatnot, because so I put this on the back.
He's messing with.
Couldn't switch it, and it pissed him off. And I told him, I was like, you do this every day, and that's going to break this microphone quicker. Leave it alone. and he would do it every day. So I just put this plate on the back. It pissed him off, man.
Does the plate not come with a microphone, or does it come with a microphone? Like it, I mean, it looks branded, but why was it not on there in the first place?
There was two. There's two plates. There's one that's solid, and then there's one with an opening in the middle right here where you can actually like stick something in there and flip the switch up or down to go to more treble or more bass. And that's what he was doing because I had the opening on there.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm sick of him switching it every day. So I put this one on there.
That is basically the same as letting somebody drive your car. Like, hey, can I borrow your car? And then they mess up your mirrors and all your side mirrors and your seat and everything.
Every time somebody drives my car, my seat's late. I'm like, are y'all sleeping while you're driving? What are you doing leaning back so far?
All right. Well, I wasn't talking about you specifically, but I guess I will now. Anytime my wife borrows my car, she's like, my husband's a giant. Let me put the seat as far back as it possibly can go. And then I'm like, I am not 7 feet tall. This is not where it was when you got in the car.
It's funny. Oh, I'm just seeing the thing at the bottom.
Yeah, buy Andy's books. There's a link in the description. It's a terrible link. It's all I've got for you.
That's okay.
I'm going to force you to do something better. You know what I was thinking this morning? You know, I'm like, oh, my website can just be the Swiss pocket knife of websites. Anytime I want to have I think
you're wanting
to put a page up for that.
You actually have some you have some content, you have something basically like physical, and you're wanting to show it off. You know, you're proud of it, and you're wanting to be like, look. And I don't think you should do that yet. I think you should wait.
You're right.
You have something that's going to. If I go to a web page, it's like, hey man, this thing's super cool that you're really going to want. And it's coming. I don't.
You're right.
Okay, that's great. I hope you. But the chances of me coming back to check regularly are not very good.
Yeah. So that you're right. Which is why I haven't posted it up there or anything like that yet. But like, I have a page that's going to be like the nothing page. But what I want to do is collect like email addresses or a way to push out a notification like we're live, come check us out. Yeah. But I'm not ready for that yet. So I'm not even ready for that part yet. So I'm not even doing that. But it is consuming all of my thoughts. But I think, well, we'll see how it goes. But I can put a page up there like like Andy's books. I could put like a page up there. Go buy Andy's books.
If I could get all of them fixed, I was telling Alex the other night, I'm like, man, writing the book is one thing, but getting the book out and reformatted and oh my God, it's driving me nuts.
It's
like when we get off the air here and I get my stuff done, I've got a couple of hours to get creative, you know, where I've got a little downtime where I do stuff around here, but most of it's done by Friday. And right now I'm in that creative point where I've got like 3 stories cooking right now, but I have to focus on getting them up on Google Play Books and getting them up on Barnes and Noble and making sure they're formatted right and making sure the cover.
That's it.
It's taken.
That's a different problem because you don't have you can manage your time, and as a creative person that you have this kind of window of time that's like I have creative energy right now, and you cannot schedule that. Not really.
No,
because you can. Okay, so like around the house here this weekend, I got to keep working on the garage. I got to, change car oil. I got to mow the lawn. I got to work on my garden. I have chores. I have things I have to do. And then I got to feed the kids, entertain the kids. Maybe I can get up before them. Maybe I can stay up after them. But I can't schedule like, oh, here's my time that I get to be creative. It does not work like that.
No.
You just have to be like, this is my time I'm creating right now.
If you do schedule it, it won't be creative.
Yeah.
It won't. That's true.
It'll dry up. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. And then you'll be like sitting there like, I finally blocked some time. I can do something. And you'll be like,
There was a story that I
Smart.
remember hearing about some famous executive businessman that we all knew, and I can't remember who it was, but the story was like he had a group of architects, engineers, like a group of them that he was presenting his idea to, and he told them they had like, an hour to get him some, whatever, some ideas. And he said when he watched this group of engineers, the ones that immediately started drawing something and writing stuff down and whatnot were the ones that he said the people that he wanted to hire were the ones that just kind of sat around and, they didn't really write anything on their paper. They just kind of farted around and did something else and whatnot, because those are the creative people. Those are the people that can't be forced to be creative. The creativity will come to them while they're looking at flowers. That's usually what happens to me. I'll be doing something mundane, washing dishes or cleaning the cat box, and I'll be like, oh, that's a great idea, and it just come, and so that's what he always chose the ones that did not immediately start going and putting their ideas down. They were the creative ones.
We need a good container label for that, because I feel like that happened to me yesterday while I was.
That's the container label. ADHD.
No. That's a terrible. No.
Dude.
No, we need a better label than that, because like yesterday, I feel like that was happening to me yesterday. It was a technical thing, but I was like, how am I going to like solve this problem of propagation or whatever? And I was making my lunch or making breakfast for my kids or something. I was like, oh, that's the idea. But then you have to like capture it and write it down. But, I think of myself as like, oh, I'm a procrastinator. I put things off. I'm
showing you right here.
Taking notes.
I know it's a little, go to your desk,
go to X,
your main home, and then you put your notepad on.
I literally had
home. Look at
like
this.
Food in my hands. I was making food. Yeah.
I've told people when I die, y'all need to check my voice notes and my notes, because
I'm not even that organized. I leave notes everywhere.
Look, I did this in the car the other day. All right. This is me talking into this and then saving it because I had an idea in the car, and this is what it says. A story where it starts off where it's explaining this man and how he has always said negative things, and he has negative. He says it, I'm going to have to go back through and see what this means, but it's basically me. What if there's this guy and he's like this and blah, 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 blah. And then I just save it so that when I'm want to get inspired, I'll go back through my notes and I'm like, I'll have at the title, it'll say story idea. And I'm like, oh, let me read that one. Ooh, that's good. Let's do that. What time is it? All right. Put them on your notes. Hey, there's Dave.
I'm not even that organized where I will only use like the notes app. I'll just write stuff down or type it somewhere and forget about it.
Dude, look, this one's my favorite because it's so cool, but I hardly use it. And it's called Mindly. And and then you can like, and then create.
Yep. Those are mind maps. That's how
Dave,
I preach my sermon.
The Tron sequel doesn't come out till later this year, sir.
You need to exit out and rejoin your audio. It sounds like you're coming.
You sound like like Galvatron.
you sound like Galvatron. Say puny earthlings. Oh, he left.
Your world will be mine.
We'll find the Cybertron or the energy.
In a world where
say in a world.
You can say in a world.
No better now?
Oh, you're good now.
It is, but it's actually worse. Go back to the other way.
Yeah, go
you wanted me out, man.
Galvatron. Cool.
Hey, Deke has a friend.
It's Joey. It's Joey.
Yeah,
Joey.
Joey right there.
And he's been off all week, and he said he would come by here. So I've been
rock on.
He waited until the last damn day. He's a busy dude.
Well, that's why our viewers are down one this morning.
Yeah, that's why we
It's
only
in
have
negatives.
viewers.
It's negative.
Log on your phone, dude. Come on, help us out.
Log it up. Log it in. Let's fake this stuff. So we're
Okay.
talking about creative stuff, Dave.
Yeah, we were talking about
You got
creative
anything to say about creative stuff?
Yeah.
I
Deke,
was
I
saying
sent you a bunch of
like
names.
I saw those.
not ADHD, but I guess what I'm saying is you said something a moment ago that kind of like, oh, okay, that's something that's a positive frame to look in it, where instead of like looking down on or even on yourself of people that are like mind wandering and not taking notes, if instead you reframe that as those are the people that are the creative, that are the
Yeah. So
uh,
like the Mindly app that he's using, I use Simple Mind
Yeah.
for my sermons. That's how I lay my sermons out. And I actually preach from the spider web or the mind map. I like the visual aspect of it. I used to do just images only, and I've gone to statements in there because the whole idea an image is worth 1,000 words. So I would do that with my sermons. I would put an image of whatever the concept is I'm trying to explain or delve into.
okay. So I've never been to Mindly, I don't think. I'm gonna look at it right now. I'm curious.
I've had that Mindly app for years.
Oh, it's not on your browser. It's only on an app on your phone.
I think so. Do you pay for it, Dave?
Download.
I paid one time. I paid $15 for the app for my computer and my phone. Now, actually, I bought it another time. I bought it so I have it on my iPad, my phone, and my MacBook.
I've never paid for it. The free version, you get like 3 saves. That's it.
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
Well,
like how useful is that?
And all
Well,
that
what I've
Google
done
opinion
is-
rewards.
Yeah, I can delete the ones that I've done. Like I used to use this for D&D, and I would keep characters and plots and worlds. And I mean, it was great for a D&D guy because it's all right there. But now I'm using it for my books.
There's a
2 major books in there.
magician named Rachel Wax. She's New York, Jewish, vulgar, but she teaches about using mind maps in her show and how she approaches it. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I bought it and I didn't learn anything new because I've been looking and using mind maps for years now. But I love talking mind maps with people.
I just installed it and I logged in. I guess I logged in automatically. You can't really see that. It says
That's the welcome one.
Oh, that's not me. Okay. All right.
No, that's the
I
welcome.
was like, maybe I've done this before. Okay. 2015. I thought it was me that did that.
No,
because I've looked
just
at some of
tells
these
you-
mind things.
If you go in, it tells you what to do. And if you hit that plus, you can create and change the colors and go in. Like mine right here is the Lost Transmissions. It's got the Lost Transmission is the main one in blue.
Yeah.
And then those are the 3 titles. And then you go to the title, and I had it to where it was
Now,
plotted out in the chapter names.
Lost Transmission, that is the same as the name of your books that are available on Amazon. Link in the description below. If you guys want to go over to Amazon, check that out.
Kind of like that.
That was slick.
Okay. Let's see. Hey, like everybody else on the internet, we are economic experts. And and I saw 2 days ago the market was like dying. It's the end of the world. It's the apocalypse. And then Donald Trump posted a tweet, and the markets were like, what? And this morning, I got a news. I saw a news story on Newsmax, and they said China has retaliated again and has now raised U.S. import tariffs to 125%.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this is so great. This is so great. That the markets are going to open in like 10 minutes, and the market's going to crash, and my buy order for Tesla at 2:30 will get filled, and I will pick up. I'm so excited.
I've seen people on X. I've seen them complaining about, these guys that print shirts. So basically, I send your website the idea, and they send
Right.
you the shirt, but they don't do any of the work. They farm it out to Chinese companies and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the dude
Yeah.
was saying that now a sweatshirt costs like $648.
Yeah.
It costed like $200 or something like
You
that.
mean you're putting these children who are working in sweatshops
Oh,
out of
terrible.
business?
It's
I
terrible.
know.
With your Nikes.
These
And then-
3-year-olds
okay,
are going to.
Not
I
out
think
of mind, Dave.
I saw an argument on at YouTube. We'll say so. Somebody was like, if we have all these tariffs, a cell phone made in the U.S. is going to cost $3,500, and I was like, wow, I don't really need another cell phone.
I don't need it.
Mine works
Let's try to
great.
take care of this one and not drop it again.
Do you know how much a cell phone costs from outside the US? I mean, have you looked at the actual
Yeah.
price of an iPhone? Not the deal you get in the store, but the price of an iPhone?
Well,
No,
I don't buy it. I
Some of
stopped
those are
buying
over
subsidized phones.
$5,000.
Ah,
Oh, you
that's-
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Now it used to be when we were younger, and maybe it still is for many people because I'm not on a Verizon contract type thing, and I don't think anybody is anymore. But it used to be that you would buy a phone and be like, "Oh, it's $100," and it's $100 because they locked you into a 2-year contract, and
Mhm.
you're paying.
And it's
You're
bloatware.
basically you are paying that the interest on that, and you're paying the subsidy on that, or you're
And
paying
you're-
against the subsidy
You're
on that for
accepting
2
their
years.
ads. You're accepting their
Yeah.
ads. They're targeted
Yeah.
to you. And if you click on one of those,
So-
they got more money, more information. And when it's free, you are the product.
So 2 or 3 years ago, my wife and I switched to Mint Mobile because let's
Ryan Reynolds
face it,
one?
Ryan Reynolds is
Yeah,
he is super super
You,
friendly
friendly and
you
attractive.
obviously have not been keeping up with any of the current news that's been
Don't
going
care.
on. Ryan, his
Do
wife.
not care.
Oh my God, it's changed my perception on that guy completely. I
don't
love
care.
him. I think his comedic timing and his inflection is
Yeah.
top notch. But this
Yeah.
stuff that's been coming out, I'm not
I
going
have
to get into it. If you want to choose,
Get into it. I don't
get
care.
into it, go ahead. But some of this stuff that's coming out about him and his
Well,
family,
You know what?
is
I
maybe
want
change my
I want to
perspective.
learn about it. But before that, let me tell you about Mint Mobile. I pay less than $1,000 for both of my wife and my phone for the whole year.
Are you getting fucking paid from Mint Mobile to do?
No.
You get a,
No, I'm just telling you. I'm telling
we
you
use it
because
for our local ministry association. We bought them for our
When-
mission.
10 years ago, or whatever, I was on T-Mobile or Sprint. And it was probably 3 years ago that we switched over. I went through and I added up the amount of money that I paid every month for my wife and myself for 12 months at a time, plus the cost of buying phones and all of that stuff. And it was $2,000 to $3,000 a year for cell phones. And I figured out like, oh, well, if we switch to this other thing, yeah, you buy the phone at wherever you buy the phone wholesale or whatever the real price is, you pay for it yourself. But then the service is a third of that. So I have saved thousands of dollars by switching. Now, if Ryan Reynolds has some personality problem with somebody, I don't care because that's not in my wallet.
Hold up. You're doing what everybody else does. You just added a word that you
Yeah,
didn't
what's that?
even know that you added that changed that whole sentence.
But
You
Okay.
said personality. I didn't say personality.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what
He's
the
got
issue is. I
some
know there's some
problem.
lawsuit with him and his wife and some other dude.
Right. You don't know.
I don't know. Neither does
So why
anybody
don't
else.
yeah, they do. You just have to educate yourself. Why don't you
No.
check out Patriot Mobile, America's only Christian conservative wireless provider that probably does the
Yeah.
exact same thing.
Check
at
out the
Mint
plans. I'm
Mobile.
curious. Activation. Yeah. Nope. $78. Nope. Not even close. That is more
Dude,
than twice what I pay.
so like
That's
I get a
cool.
first
If you wanna
responder
support-
discount.
If you want to support that kind of stuff,
Man, I
that's-
don't care
that's
about
all
that
on
guy.
you. That's cool.
Why are you all black? Everybody's black except for me. Like the screens are just black.
I don't know.
What's that?
We're not rich enough to not do a financial decision based.
That's a good point. My wife's like, Ryan Reynolds may be an evil person, but we're not rich enough to be able to afford the luxury of avoiding Mint Mobile because he's
That's cool. I mean, if the devil gives me a deal, I'm probably, I mean, I can't. That's just me.
Okay, so what's the deal with Ryan Reynolds, or what are the allegations?
No,
Because I don't know.
it is way too much. I've got to do a trivia question in 3 minutes. If you want
Okay.
to know about Ryan Reynolds, I highly recommend you go and just watch Candace Owens talk about it. And then go down the rabbit hole from there.
She's
If you don't
the
believe
one that has
me,
a 6-hour special about Macron's wife being his dad.
I bet you never watched that either, did you? If you watch that, it will blow your mind. It's not just some chick saying this crap. She has irrefutable proof.
I mean, you know, it
Very
is.
interesting.
I can't talk. I can't talk
gotta
intelligently
rejoin
about
again.
it. The only thing I know about Ryan Reynolds is that there's a lawsuit. Oh, where's Dave? Dave bounced.
I'm here.
he's
Everything's like
having
weird
some-
on my
he's
screen.
having
I'll
some
be right
weird
back.
Screen problems. Yeah, Do Good's right. Mobile contracts are expensive, and if you go and start talking to them, they've got all kinds of little deals and stuff that they don't tell you and what you can do and stuff like that. I like what he said here. This is completely off topic. Oh, I don't know if I can put it up there. It's not letting me put it up there.
That one.
Yeah,
Let me make you moderator.
I was just a minute ago. I
don't know, man.
Hey man, there's weird things going on today.
Strange things.
Yeah, you can't see it because of it. Oh, I wish I understood how to change if it's the top or the bottom. That's not it. I have no idea what I'm doing. Anyway, he says that dire wolves and gremlins.
That's a great movie. That's a great story idea. Do Good.
Dire Gremlins.
Dire Gremlins. Are they supposed to be doing a new Gremlins movie?
I think so.
I think it was a
they are.
cartoon. It's like an animated.
There was a
cartoon.
cartoon. No, they did the cartoon to test if it would work or not. The animated
what?
movie came out a year ago.
They're gonna bring back IPs. They should reboot the Tremor series again. Tremors,
Absolutely.
but practical effects, not digital. No digital garbage.
I want bring back Critters. Critters was amazing.
Okay.
All the He-Man stuff's actually sounding good. Other than he goes to America.
I have intentionally avoided the Ryan Reynolds thing because I just don't know. Like, I don't know who to believe. There's going to be like, I know that there's like a guy who sued, what's her name, Blake Lively, and then like, so there's allegations in court, and then there's countersuit, and then it's like, who's telling the truth?
And
probably everybody's lying. Nothing's true. Me too. Who
Reynolds
knows
is
what?
obviously
I don't
going to
know.
protect his wife, and if that means going nuclear
Of
on
course
everybody
he
else,
is.
got the finger. He gave us the
What's
finger.
the deal with Ryan Reynolds?
But we
Okay.
ended up using
I'm gonna find
Mint
out.
Mobile for our local mission because we needed
Right.
to get our director
So-
a cell phone. And so that's what we did. That was the cheapest alternative that we could find.
And I'm not selling Mint Mobile, but I'm just telling you, I personally saved thousands of dollars.
Now, I wouldn't say
By
thousands
switching.
of dollars because I get a phenomenal rate as a
Yeah,
first
you probably,
responder.
you might get a,
Um,
yeah.
I mean, dude,
Well, even back when we were on Sprint or T-Mobile, my wife works for school, so that's government. You get a like 10% discount or something like
yeah,
that.
my wife gets
Or
a
one
discount
time I had a
through
military
school.
discount, something like that, but it
Yeah,
still
this is
only
better.
amounted to a tax. You know,
Oh, this is
like
better.
it wasn't that much. No, the lawsuit. Tell me about the lawsuit. Okay. Ricochet, what's happening? Happy flipping Friday,
Hey.
y'all. Ricochet, do you have any creative projects? Earlier in the show, we were talking about the creative process and creative energies and how you can't really manage it. You just have to catch it and write it. So,
Can I show you a
do
sermon?
you have any? Did you say Sperman?
Yeah. Sermon. Can I show you
Sermon.
a sermon? Goodness.
Oh,
Let me
yeah,
see here if I
sure.
can find. I need it as a screen. Why won't this let me?
at the top, it's on
Window.
presentation
Yeah,
mode.
I know. I'm trying to find a specific screen.
While he's doing that, I am going to remind probably everybody that Andy's books are on Amazon, and you can go pick them up. It's $3 for a short story or $9 for all of them, and it doesn't matter. Support Andy. Support Andy.
Heck yeah.
Andy's awesome.
Our governor?
No, not him. Are you trying to share something? I bet you're not logged in. Maybe that's what
I'm
it
logged in. I'm logged in. I've got. It's not in a.
is. Let's see.
I've got to find it. It's in a different place. It's not.
Baldoni,
s-
a director of It Ends With Us, sued Reynolds and Lively for $400 million, alleging defamation, civil extortion, and other claims. That's a countersuit because Lively filed a complaint in December last year,
It's all
accusing
pretty
him of
gnarly
sexual
stuff.
harassment and retaliation. So yeah, this is exactly what I said. It's like he said this, she said this. Nobody knows what's true.
Christ.
Got it. Here we go.
Hang on, I
Did you
gotta
find
turn
your
it
thing?
What
Think
are you
so.
talking to me?
All right. Can you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
That's how I would lay out a sermon. I don't use the pictures anymore, but you've kind of got this whole visual. Back then, I started at 9 o'clock and worked around the clock. Now I start at 3 o'clock and work around the clock. If that makes sense to
What do you mean you start at 3? You start at 0.5,
Started.
number 5?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
where
you
I
said
start now.
9
The layout.
Oh.
Yeah, think
Oh,
of it
okay,
as a
okay.
clock, and then I kind of work around. So I would tell a story about Mercedes-Benz creating the first energy-absorbing car body. All this is going to connect to 1 Corinthians 2, 1 through 5, and I kind of talk about
I once had a
how that actually.
Mercedes-Benz.
What's that?
It was old, but it was amazing. Mercedes-Benz. It
Yeah,
had these
yeah.
double pane windows. It's so silent. It was heavy too, so it floated on there. I honestly loved to drive in that car.
Mhm.
Somebody rear-ended me. It was an
Jerks.
anyway. Actually, one of the best cars I've ever driven also was also a Mercedes-Benz. It was an A200. It was a coupe, and I guess it was like a 2018 model or whatever. And at first I got in, I couldn't even, I was like, how do you even start this car? It was not electric, but it was super high tech. I was like, where's the button or whatever? But after I figured out how to like get it going, I had such a great time. It was a Turo. You ever heard of the Turo service? It's like Uber, except instead of somebody driving you around, you're just like renting somebody's car, like not Hertz or something like that. So
You're probably
like
driving with a dead body in the back, and you don't know that you just.
I
came from a
checked the
murder.
trunk. I checked the trunk. Anyway, it was a pretty good deal. Like if you ever want to like, oh, I want to go on vacation and like rent a amazing car. It was my birthday gift, she says. We were down in
Family truckster.
we were in South Padre Island. My brain's over there working for me, reminding me where we were. We were at South Padre Island and we wanted to like, oh, we'll be on the beach. We'll rent a fun car. Well, you're not renting a fun car from Hertz or Enterprise or anything like that. So this company Turo lets private people set up their car for rent and you just borrow a car for the week. It was pretty awesome.
I wonder if I could ever do that.
I know your idea, man. I'm just scared.
know
I'm just
going-
scared. I don't want to have people in my house.
No. I'm thinking about. I occasionally have to rent a vehicle for my.
Oh yeah.
work.
Oh for sure.
I don't
Yeah.
think they would let me rent.
And
somebody.
honestly, I might be wrong, but I think it was honestly cheaper than
yeah,
wasn't it?
it's
Wasn't
an
it cheaper?
origin issue. It's an origin issue.
Okay. I don't know how we're on here. Okay, so you know what? I'm not reading all this. I'm just gonna assume that Baldoni's the bad guy and Ryan Reynolds is the good guy.
That's one side of the argument.
How are we friends?
Somebody wants Ryan Reynolds' money. That makes sense to me.
No. Oh my God. If you truly want to educate yourself about this, truly get into the story and see what's
Who's
going on
Baldoni?
instead of
Sure.
making
Okay.
a parrot sheep judgment that every single person on earth does that I hate. And I thought that we were all these people that were open-minded. But when we make rash judgments, and I do that sometimes, y'all have flipped my ass on certain things before. But all I'm saying is that if you care to know about this story, it's very interesting. and it changed the way that I look at an actor that I liked.
Okay. I mean,
that's all I'm
can
saying.
you?
But I'm the guy
like-
that don't watch Tom Hanks movies anymore.
Okay.
either.
All right, and
Some
you hate
people
Tom
don't
Cruise,
care.
who obviously made some of the best movies ever.
Oh my God.
I can't believe you said that.
Jesus Christ. If I could slap the freaking
Cheese and rice. That's what you said, right? Cheese and
Cheese.
rice.
Top Gun Maverick made like $1 billion.
I've got to call on my Lord to help restrain me is why
Well,
I say that.
If that's where we'll
Please
go, then let me
Alright.
say
clap
this.
my friend.
Ryan Reynolds did say that religion
I
makes
need to be more
everything
open. I need to
ugly. Everything beautiful, ugly.
Do good says
That's
that
what Ryan
Ryan
Reynolds
Reynolds
said
is
that.
awesome, and I
Yeah.
need to
Yeah,
be
but
open
he's
minded.
Canadian.
That's hilarious. That's like an oxymoron sentence.
Wait, we got two different things going on at the same time.
So
Okay.
everything always all at once.
I love you, man.
Good. We're good. We're good.
Am I wrong about something?
No.
I'm
no.
not-
I have to be honest. I do not care about the Ryan Reynolds story. I know that it's been percolating, and I was like, I've
Honestly, I
never
don't
looked
either
into it.
because it's not going to affect anything that I do in life, other than the fact that
Right.
when a Ryan Reynolds movie comes up now, I'm probably not going to watch Waiting again when it comes up because of what I feel about him now. And I thought about this the other day. I thought, or
Okay,
not
so
the
that
other
does
day, but I thought
you.
about
It
this
does
when I was
matter to
going
you.
through. I thought, would I watch a Ryan Reynolds movie? And the only Ryan Reynolds movie that I told myself that I would still watch that every time. What is
Deadpool 2.
it? Deadpool
Is it still
2
cable?
Voices.
because it's got cable in
It's
it.
got cable. See, I know
It
you.
makes me so mad that everybody says Josh Brolin's Thanos. Yeah, that was great, but he was the perfect casting of Cable.
Uh-huh.
I wanted the
Oh.
guy from Avatar as Cable. The general guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I know you go. Yeah.
Stephen Lang. Stephen Lang.
Lang.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me get his picture up here.
I'm glad we're talking about comics.
We can talk about comics if you want to.
Well, I have something I want to tell you about, and I think you don't know about it because you, for whatever
Yeah.
reason, decided not to listen to Rob
he'd
Liefeld
been-
anymore on X. Yeah.
He'd be fun as
Yeah,
I
and
could
you
see
got to
him as
think
Cable.
10, 15 years ago. Yeah, he would have been
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Right here, that right there was the picture that they were all like Steven.
Man, wasn't that movie like almost 20 years ago? The Avatar movie. How long ago was the original Avatar movie?
It's probably about 20 years ago, I bet.
Everybody went black again on my screen except for me. What is going on?
I wonder
Rumble?
if because I just
I have a
closed
clue
down-
for you. It's your internet.
I wonder if it was because I just shared a page and closed the page.
Possibly. That's when it happened
No.
last time. Yeah, no, that's
Or
when
it's
it
your
happened last time.
browser. You're in a browser that's no bueno.
My browser's up to date. I'll be right back.
Blinding. Joey says hi, Ricochet.
Okay, so
Van Wilder was a great movie. Yeah, I like his movies. That's why I'm kind of this. And I didn't even
do good.
I'm
Have you
like
ever seen The
Jay.
Voices?
I didn't even give a crap. Ashley was the one that was following it and telling me about it every day, and I'm like, for real?
Let's see. Maybe I can find it here. So we have talked. It's probably been over a year or so since we talked about this, but back in the day, like in the early 2000s, Rob Liefeld made a bad business decision and sold the rights to like half of his Extreme Studios characters. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about? Rob
Yeah, he
Liefeld?
sold the Youngblood
Can't
characters.
draw feet. The Youngblood specifically, and that was a kind of a big deal because that was a super popular book, at least in the
I enjoyed it.
first Image
I
days.
enjoyed it, but they should have stuck with the original premise of the two books in one. and they started focusing on specific.
Yeah, I loved how
popular
it flipped.
And
Half of it was upside down.
and Rob can create characters, but Rob has problems with his storytelling. Rob is excellent at creating characters.
I don't
but
think he is.
I do. I mean, I could name. I could
They're
name
all
a
the
thousand.
same.
No, not really. But Shaft should not have
Shaft
been the leader of the Youngblood home team. He shouldn't have been the leader. That was a bad
Okay.
choice. That comic book was
So-
doomed from the
Want a
start.
brigade to be the leader?
No, but Shaft, it should have been somebody else different than him. He should have been an ancillary character.
Well, now I can't find the. Let me see if he talked about it on Instagram. I believe that Rob Liefeld has reached some deal. Maybe the rights got shifted around to somebody else or whatever, but he's going to be able to revive Youngblood, not just
I've heard that.
reprint old issues.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, well, I guess it's less
Well,
interesting. than
I
thought it
just
was gonna
no.
be.
I think that's really cool. I had heard that was going to happen, but I didn't know if it was ever going to happen.
I've seen him talk about it recently.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see.
So yeah, Youngblood when it first started. Remember Bedrock? You had
Yeah.
Bedrock. Remember you had Bedrock.
Right,
And
obviously,
One
that's
of
the thing.
problems that Rob ran into real quick was that Bedrock is a copyrighted freaking word. So he had to change about issue 3. Was it issue 3? Bedrock's name changed to Badrock.
Right.
So those first issues, he's called Bedrock. If you look, I clearly remember that name is copyrighted. He has to change it. Chapel was a character in Youngblood, had his own series. He could, that is an excellent character. Riptide was a Namor ripoff. Let's see who else.
Who was the cat? It was
Troll.
a feral ripoff.
Yeah, there was a Feral ripoff that was in there. Who was that? Bloodstrike.
I'm pulling them out. I've got them right here. I gotta dig for a minute though.
Like, when is it?
Badrock,
When is
Shaft.
it
Die Hard?
homage?
Die Hard was one of the best characters. Sentinel.
Yeah.
Cougar.
Cougar. That was who the feral ripoff
Yeah.
was.
Task. Sci-Fire. Chapel.
Here it is. Is this it?
Sci-Fire was that one that I thought in that first issue. I thought, oh my God, how powerful is this freaking guy? He had telekinesis and pyrokinesis. And yeah, I've got that one.
Yeah, but do you have that?
What is that? Oh, that's fate.
Fabian. I'm looking
Yeah,
for it. I know I've got the,
pyrokinesis. He can make your brain blow up in your head, catch on fire in your skull.
which is kind of cool.
All right.
Jowie don't
I
read. comic
can't find
books.
anything concrete about him returning. No. What do you do, Joey? What do you like? What do you do? What's your hobby?
Work.
It's not a
And
hobby.
You and him could drink whiskey together.
Work and whiskey, yeah, that's true.
I have actually not been drinking whiskey ever since the episode. Did I tell you about the episode? It was
I remember the. I
about
think I
2
still got
months
the,
ago.
I think I still got the messages from your wife. That
Oh shit!
Uh-oh.
talking about how
It was
stabbed
like
you ever looked at
it was
you.
like 2 UFCs ago, and I brought home some Town Branch whiskey, and boy, that stuff messed us up. And I woke up in the bathroom. I thought it was a bad day. So pretty much since then, I haven't had any whiskey.
Joey said it's
I
been a
think
long
I'm-
time since the last
Youngblood.
time he had whiskey last night.
Oh, he got Youngblood. He's got a Youngblood right there.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of Youngbloods here. Youngblood number 3, we mentioned.
Yeah, what's the
So-
cover? Show the cover.
There's the cover. Oops.
Yeah, Supreme.
Yeah. Oh, with Supreme.
Yeah. And let's see if what his name is in here.
I thought it
So
was
his
3 or
Supreme
4.
character was kind of like the Shazam or
Yeah.
the
This was like my favorite, like, I don't know if you remember this or not,
Yeah.
but
is that Bloodstrike? I think
it
that's
is.
Bloodstrike.
never did understand what good a flying kick was against a gun. I'm like, that is just great. That is
Look, so
classic right there.
I will admit that Rob Liefeld makes exciting
What am I looking at?
The Dow Jones climbing.
layouts or
the
maybe
Dow
maybe
Jones
stories.
is
But
climbing.
Just went from
It,
50 to 180.
it just went from 50 to 180.
no, I needed to go down. I needed to go down so my buy order
Dave,
gets
hold
filled.
that. Dave, hold
bro.
that splash page up.
Hold on, but let me
That's
flip
my
back to it.
favorite freaking thing. That's one of my favorite pieces of artwork. I would have that framed on my wall. I loved
Look,
Die
Hold it over
Hard.
to the left a little. There,
I
left a
gotta
little
go
bit. There you
backwards
go.
here.
I
There we go.
loved
That's Die Hard.
And that
How
This
is
one-
that name not? It's not
that's
stolen.
just a class. Yeah, no, that's just a classic Rob Liefeld character right there. He looks android.
No
The-
pouch.
Yeah.
Well, he's got one pouch. He's only got one pouch.
But
So
he's got
not
the
really a
cybernetic
good.
lines.
Oh, he's got
To,
pouches.
to
Yeah.
differentiate the cybernetic part, they just drew lines, you know, and I love that for some reason. I like the Cable with the lines on his arm rather than the ones where they actually draw the freaking mechanical stuff. Where is it? Is that Bad Rock
It's Bad Rock.
Yeah.
He's
you
Bad-
have
Bad
you have
Rock
a
on
lot
this
of young
one.
bloods
Did. I love John
in your
Blood.
office. Does your boss know you have a bunch of comic books in your office?
Yes. Yes, he does. He knows everything that goes on in this office.
I have
My
one.
boss does not know.
I have
my boss
one
is
up here. My ISOM #1. That's
Man,
the last human hands
I know.
that touched it were the people that put it in the if
Yeah.
Eric July is the one that put it in the bag, which I doubted it is.
He's not.
No,
Yeah.
that's the last
I know,
person.
I know you don't follow that kind of community or whatever, like
I
comics.
do
Comics.
on X. I pay attention to that all the time. Eric July.
Really?
Yeah, because
So-
he's had some other crap
yeah.
going on here lately.
Yeah. He's not like he did anything scandalous, but I mean, he's. You have the majority of comics, which are blue-haired leftists and liberals or whatever, and then you have kind of the indie comics kind of faction that's more conservative or whatever. They got basically booted out of mainline publishing because they don't hold leftist politics. So they started these kind of indie comics, and you got some splinter groups, and they're not necessarily a monolithic group, but you have a diaspora of kind of conservatives that are in comics doing indie stuff. And Eric July definitely took advantage of that populist kind of support for these guys when he launched Ripaverse and comics and ISOM. And so, yeah, I bought ISOM #1. I bought ISOM #2. But honestly, I read them and I was like, this isn't that good. And then he's made like a bunch more. And really, Eric July is not making art. He's selling books. And that's a different thing. He was doing okay for selling books for the first couple issues. But if you go back and look at his sales, even his sales are like in the gutter now. Oops, sorry. Like all of the different books that he's brought out since then have not only not sold, but they're not really getting good reviews. I read it. It's not that
now,
good.
But right now in this setting, in this world that we live in, and that's the comic books, maybe that's what's needed. Maybe we need a 1990s X-Men X-Force shakeup to where it's like we're selling books for this stance. We're not
Right.
going to be told what to draw. We're not going to do this. We're selling books right here. And even though, like you said, the story is lackluster, maybe that will give a push and a motivation for others to be like, well, Eric's doing this. And they are the ones that's going to have the great stories.
It's half right is the problem. It's only half right. It is, yeah, we have to focus on sales. We have to focus on selling product people want, except it doesn't also have compelling story and character.
Let me tell you what another problem probably is. All right. And this is coming from something that me and you have talked about many times. Some artists are crappy storytellers. Rob Liefeld is #1. Fabian Nicieza is responsible for the X-Force stories. He is the one that's mainly,
and
I credit.
he was a good artist too.
And he was a good artist, but
yeah, he was one of the rare
sometimes,
good artists, good storytellers.
You've got to have the artist, and then here's the storyteller. I'm not the greatest artist, but I can tell you a story.
I
Jim
can't.
Lee, I think, was a
I
good
can't.
storyteller
I
and
can't
good artist.
speak authoritatively about Rob Liefeld because my attitude about Rob Liefeld for forever has been he can't draw that well, but he gets very excited and he gets very excited.
Loved his drawings.
Maybe you like it. If you like it, that's fine. Like that's okay. In my opinion, he can't draw very well. But he does move like product because he's enthusiastic about what he does. But I never read his issue. I never read his stories and left it with like, oh, that's really engaging. What happened to these characters in there?
You want to
Even
read
that
a Rob
matters.
Executioner's Song.
You want to read? God, have you not
I
read
loved that.
Executioner's Song?
That was
Jesus,
so good.
great.
That was so
Did he
good.
write that, or did George just draw it?
Oh no, that was
I don't know
like
who.
4 or 5 different comic books that had hundreds of freaking.
Yeah, I
artists.
remember
This is
Executioner's
the
Song back in the
first
day.
comic I ever bought, by the way.
You want to read a Rob Liefeld
It's the
story?
first
true
comic
Rob
I bought.
Batman
Liefeld
Year
story.
3.
It was that one where Cable had, I can't remember the name of it now, and it didn't come out that long ago because I bought it and read it, and I thought, well, this is terrible. Cable, it was an alternate timeline or something where Cable and Storm hooked up and had a child. And that child, what was it called? Do you remember what I'm talking? There was a whole series called this. It wasn't Chapel, but I'm wanting to say it started with a C. Hang on, let me look it up here real quick. Cable and
Can't find Youngblood #1, which that has me a
Major
little-
X. Major X was the name of the storyline.
Yeah. That was funny because he launched that character to great aplomb from Marvel. And then, like, the next month, Marvel was like, we're going to give all the X-Men to Hickman and make the flower stuff. And and he got screwed on that deal.
Yeah, and the storyline suffered. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Executioner's
Uh,
Song. Still bagged.
Oh, my God.
Is that number 1?
Wow.
Yes.
What
Yes.
is there a card in the back of those?
Yeah, there's cards in each of them. I did open the bags, but it was Xavier.
Man.
Let's see here.
And those went between X-Force, Uncanny
So X-Men, X-Factor,
X-Factor, and there was another one.
X-Men, X-Force, X-Men. Goodness, you're gonna make me pull all these out here so I can see.
There was eight or 9 of them that told
There's 12 of them.
Oh, the 12.
Yeah, X-Force, X-Men, X-Men, X-Factor.
Yeah, JJ, you want to tell
X-Men.
you want to tell a story now because you've got Cable and you've got the X-Men and stuff like that. You have Cable come in and execute Professor X, and then everybody goes crazy over Cable and starts searching him down and blah 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 blah, and you end up finding out it wasn't
Right.
Cable that killed Professor X that shot.
It was.
It was.
It wasn't.
It was Strife, and you're introduced to Strife, Cable's clone that has every power that Cable has, except he is not infected by the virus. And so they have this big battle
Right.
at the end with some did Cyclops? I don't remember what happened at the end on the moon. I can't remember who died.
Somebody died. I will pull it out. The final chapter
So,
here.
oh yeah, I know what I was looking. I was looking up the who wrote it.
Joey wanted to come by and listen to us talk about politics, and we've talked about comic books.
Sorry, Joey. Hey, you can come. You can join the show anytime.
Everything for me on that one. I was gonna
You're
watch
not
that
gonna watch that
later
shit
today.
No, you're not.
Okay, let me just say, I just looked it up. Executioner's Song, Scott Lobdell, Fabian Nicieza, and Peter David wrote that.
Fabian, man, he's a great storyteller.
Fabian is a great story, and he's a great
In fact, Rob Liefeld isn't even on the list of
No.
artists.
Yeah, he's not. He's
So-
not
I don't
drawing
think
this.
he
I mean,
I don't
that's
think he had
so-
anything to do with
He
it.
did not. He did not.
that's
He did not
Fabian's
make
art
the
for X-Force.
counterpoint to
That
my
is
point,
not
which was he's
Liefeld.
never written a story that I was like amazing story. Like
I
this
was
is a
thinking- I was
compelling
thinking it
story. It
was
stuck with you
his.
because you cared about it. Yeah.
I was thinking it was his. That was my fault.
Andy Kubert was on that, and Jay Lee. Man, Jay Lee it was so awesome. And Greg Capullo. Wow, I did not know
met
Greg
Jay
Capullo
Lee.
was.
I have to.
Remember at the Comic Con a couple of years ago? We was up at
Yeah.
the and we were walking along to where all the comic book artists
Man.
were, and Ashley and
That
Kendra
guy.
had stopped to look at something, and I was just kind of glancing down at the names of all the artists, and that guy sitting on the corner, I was like, "Gosh, that guy looks familiar. And there
Right?
was nobody at that table. And I looked up
can't
at the
believe it.
name and it said Jay Lee. And I was like, Ashley thought I was crazy because I actually was like, I got to go meet him. Because I had read all of his comics as a kid, and that name, I was like, oh my God, I love this freaking guy. And that's why I walked over there to him. I'm like, I can't believe there's nobody at this table.
I saw Jim
As a-
Starlin walking around at a
him
convention.
twice.
He had left his booth and he was walking around. And so I walked up to him like, Jim, is it cool that you can just like walk around and nobody really is like swamping you right now? And he said, it kind of is. I'm like, dude, you're the man. Thank you. I love your stuff. And then went on. He's the guy that created Thanos.
Yeah, I don't want autographs or anything like that, but that's
I
what
did
I
get him to autograph some stuff earlier in the day, but
I walked up to and I was sitting there and I was like, thank you, Jim, man. Thank you for all that you've created. I've enjoyed it. He's like, no problem, or whatever he said. And Ashley was trying to get me to get an autograph, but I'm not one of those.
Man, Jay Lee did some of the most striking art, especially back in the 90s. And it was just like that left such a strong impression with me. He did when all the Image guys went and started Image, like in the second or third year, he went over and he did a book called Hell Shock. And I don't think it sold very well, but just the cover of that was so evocative. And it really stuck with me. And he's always been one of my kind of favorite illustrators. Let me see. Let me look up. I hate pulling up their website, and I'm so looking forward to being able to pull up my own website to get this information.
yeah, me too.
But for now, here is I remember having this back in the day. Let me see if I can get this up. It had kind of a Crow-esque about just the cover, but his is it not? Here it is. Hell Shock. There's Hell Shock. So like I remember him doing this, but he used to do this real splatter art back in the 90s, and his as with every artist, his style kind of changes over time, and it's a lot cleaner now. But the splatter stuff was real kind of chaotic and organic, but still very, it had real interesting shapes and stuff. And some of his newer stuff, like, let's see, is this like
We were talking about that yesterday.
you can
Hi,
kind of
Todd.
see, maybe not. Like, oh, what's that? Oh yeah, the Spider-Man book.
Yeah, the by Todd one.
Anyway,
But
this isn't
yes,
the day to do comics.
why
Yeah.
is this?
And I had that by
black
Todd.
again.
I
You-
lost all
you-
that stuff years ago.
You were sharing, and when you stopped sharing, my screen went black again.
It's
So I
got to
think-
be it's got to be your browser
up-
not handling
it's-
the JavaScript of the site.
It's got to be, but I'm updated. Maybe that's
Are
what the
you
problem
on
is.
are you on
Chrome.
Oh, Do Good says bye.
If I do good, I can't read anything now. Let me relaunch.
Ryan Reynolds is awesome. You need to be more open-minded, Deke.
We read that. We read
That
that
was Too Good,
comment
Not Me.
20 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
And I actually had a conversation with him about it, unbeknownst to you.
Well, you're a professional.
But look at
Not
the
all of us
sentence.
are.
Ryan Reynolds is awesome. You need to be more open-minded. Isn't that like military intelligence? Isn't that like an oxymoron? I need to be more open-minded, so I just blindly accept that he's awesome.
I just don't believe we know anything.
That way.
Okay, I think I'm bothering my wife. Let's do jokes. Hilarious jokes. Comics.
Hilarious jokes. Oh
That's not gonna
crap!
work. Yeah, hold on. Hilarious joke.
I went to a silent auction the other day. You ever done that as a fundraiser?
Yeah,
I bought 2 dog whistles and a mime.
that's not a good one. That's
You laugh though. JJ just got it.
Okay. All right. Let's see. How about this? Let's grab one here. On what grounds did the police arrest the devil?
I don't know.
They got him on possession.
Oh, these are terrible. I'm gonna have to save the day again. Oh, that's right. You know, boys, I'll never forget the very last thing that my grandfather said to me.
Yeah.
He said, I don't think you should unplug that. Thank you.
Politicians and talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your daughter